Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to your Energy Focus webinar. All lines have been placed on a listen-only mode, and the floor will be open for your questions following the presentation. If you should require assistance throughout the conference, please press *0 to reach a live operator. At this time, it is my pleasure to turn the floor over to your host, Ashley Capuzzi. Ma'am, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Taryn, and thank you everyone for joining us today. We are very excited to have such a great turnout. We have close to 350 registrants today, so thank you all for your interest in Energy Focus. As Taryn mentioned, my name is Ashley Capuzzi. I'm the Vice President of Marketing for Energy Focus and also your moderator for today. We are joined by John Davenport, our Chief Scientist, and Mike Summers, our Vice President of Business Development. I'd like to first start by giving you a brief background on our presenters. John is a recognized global expert in light source physics and product technology. Starting his career at GE Lighting as a research scientist, he developed numerous advanced lighting products for GE. Since then, John has led the development of a range of LED lighting products at Energy Focus, including IntelliTube, which, as you may know, is our unique tubular LED retrofit technology. John is also the author of more than 125 patents. Joining John is Mike Summers, our Vice President of Business Development. In his role, Mike is responsible for strategic commercial sales, directly supporting energy service companies' national distribution, commercial and industrial, as well as public sectors. Today, you are all here to learn more about our latest innovation here at Energy Focus, and that is the EnFocus Platform. And over the next 45 minutes or so, you'll learn more about the platform and the value this platform brings to the lighting industry. So with that, let's dive right into John Davenport. John, can you please share with everyone how this idea even originated and maybe provide some of the use cases you had in mind when first developing EnFocus?
Sure, Ashley. Well, the truth is the Energy Focus engineering and R&D team has been working on this idea for some time. With the advent of LEDs, control functions once thought unachievable, like being able to dial the color of a room, have become possible. I remember when I was at GE, all the marketing folks would come in. You know, they do a kind of session where you got to dream what you could do. One of them was dialing the color of a room. LEDs allows you to do that. Our goal really here was to develop a controls approach that was simple enough and cost-effective enough to allow the practical deployment of LEDs with these advanced capabilities in retrofit applications, and in particular in schools and hospitals, office buildings, wherever you find a wall switch and some lights to control. That was the idea. So how did we go about this? Well, we thought about several approaches, and others have too. We thought about adding extra wires to carry signals between the controls and the lights. This is, say, for example, the familiar 0 to 10 volt signaling system. This would work, and has, for new construction, but it doesn't work very well in existing buildings where the wiring is already in place. And so we thought, well, what are other options? We thought about adding a radio transmitter and receiver to the control and to the lamp. But this raised issues about cost, and each lamp has to identify who it is, and so that you can turn it on and off. And even network security in certain cases. We thought about modulating the power line with a high-frequency signal. This is often referred to as power line communication, but again, we ran into cost, commissioning, and even reliability issues associated with certain noisy electrical environments. So we went back to basics. None of those solutions really seemed like the right solution for retrofits. We were inspired by the simplest lighting control system of all, the wall switch that you find everywhere. It was invented over 100 years ago, believe it or not, and it's still around. The only problem with it, it's a great control, but the problem with it is it only works for on and off. And we wanted to be able to do so much more, like changing the light level and the color, but without adding a lot of complexity. Then, we realized maybe we could. What if we developed a smart lamp, we thought, that we could switch on and off like we do the wall switch, but instead of switching it slowly, we switch it so rapidly, the switching doesn't disturb the lamp's normal operation. In other words, you don't even know it's happening. Perhaps we thought we could take those brief interruptions in the power line to send a signal, a digital signal, which a microprocessor in the lamp could interpret, for example, as a command to dim or to change color, or something else we haven't thought of yet, right? Well, it turns out that that idea works. And so starting with that and adding a lot more work, the energy-focused engineering and R&D team was able to develop EnFocus, a lighting control so simple that you can retrofit it by simply replacing the wall switch and the lamp it controls.
Wow, John, thank you so much. We appreciate that background. Fascinating. Let me ask you, you said this has been something you've been thinking of or working on for a while. How long and when did you start with this conception, this idea?
We've been thinking about it for 2 years, ever since LEDs really got very, very controllable, and the whole opportunity around changing, for example, not only the light level but the color really played into wellness, really using lighting to go beyond energy savings. And so, but as you the right solution took some thinking and some work, a lot of work actually.
Got it. I can imagine. I believe so. Well, we appreciate that background. And Mike, now I will turn it over to you to present what EnFocus is in more detail and maybe why this innovation is so important to the market. So please take it away.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate the introduction. This is a very exciting time for EnFocus. This platform really is a true breakthrough, and very excited to be part of just introducing it to everyone today. So we'll go through a presentation, and I want to kind of give you guys some familiarity with our company first, anyone that's new to EnFocus. EnFocus, we've been a lighting innovator and manufacturer for mission-critical installations since 2007. As a matter of fact, we actually received a first DARPA contract to start developing products specifically for the U.S. Navy in 2003, and that's really what set the stage for the organization. And we've done very, very well with that, and we continue to do well with that. And we introduced and got really involved in the commercial side of the business in 2010.
Well, Mike, I just want to go back to the Navy just for a moment.
Sure.
Actually, and I'm really proud of this, we're actually on every ship in the U.S. Navy, and as you pointed out, on a lot of other ships, ally ships as well. But the thing that the Navy taught us, and we really did, we started working on LEDs for the Navy before the LED technology actually was working. So we were, back in the early 2000s. What we really learned was how to deliver the performance you can get with LEDs, but without sacrificing reliability. That's we're very proud of that. The U.S. Navy, the reason that we're on every ship is the lamps don't fail, and that's something that you need to bring into the commercial world as well. And I think we've learned a lot from that experience. But sorry for interrupting you, Mike.
No, I appreciate that insight, John, and obviously it's very important that everyone knows, where this organization has come from, and we've been part of this development of LED lighting for such a long time, and today is just again more exciting than ever that we can introduce this type of platform to everyone on the call today. So we'll go over to the next slide here. give you some visual of this platform. This is the EnFocus LED lighting control platform. You have a dimming switch, which is the EnFocus DM switch, dimming only. And next to that, you're going to have a dimming tube that is just dimming only. It has a gray end cap. That's how it's identified. And then next to that, you're going to have the EnFocus DCT, which is your dimming and color tuning switch that actually provides both dimming and color tuning. And then the tube next to that's identified by a green end cap is the dimming and color tuning tube itself. You know, one of the really fascinating features that we were able to support on this switch was the memory switch. You'll see at the top you'll have your on and off button, and right next to that you will have a star. That is your memory switch. So the individual that's occupying that space can set their preference, basically what dimming level or what color tuning level they prefer. So if someone adjusts their lights, they hit their memory switch, it goes right back to it. This platform is very simple. It is a room-based platform. It needs zero commissioning. And it's really exciting for us to introduce this today to you guys. I'll run through the specifications very quickly just so you understand what this is. This is a tube-based system. It will come in 2 and 4 foot. 2 foot being 7 watt. You have an 11 watt and 15 watt 4 foot. It's at the highest efficiency, 150 lumens per watt, 80 CRI plus. This will be a single-ended power, internal driven. This is not any external driven requirement, you know, backup system to support this solution, this platform. It is 110 to 277 volt. And one of the biggest features here to this is the range of dimming and the range of color tuning. You have 10 different levels of dimming, and then also a range of color tuning from 2700K to 6500K. That is a significant range, and I think will meet pretty much any customer's needs. Again, I've mentioned single-ended power. This is maintains a 10-year warranty. As you guys know, this 10-year warranty is really next to none in the industry. It offers a 5-year warranty on the switch, which is, again, it's pretty much doubled the industry standard warranties. And we maintain a low flicker with this solution. So this gives you a bit of the visual of what this platform will look like, what this system looks like. And the aesthetics looks great, and I think the performance, and we'll get into that in a moment, but I wanted to give you a visual of what it looks like. Making human-centric lighting possible through this groundbreaking platform. This is some of the key bullets to what makes this such a unique solution. We basically have simplified the retrofit aspect. It's your standard retrofit process, but what you're incorporating into that space is a controllable solution, which you could not do that in this fashion prior to this platform. It's a network safe. This is not a wireless controlled system. So for network safety, it absolutely offers that. And one of the biggest breakthroughs here, really the biggest breakthrough here for this is the preserving power factor and the total harmonic distortions. When you incorporate this, that can be disruptive.
Yeah, let me just say a word or two more about that. You know, why that's important. Simple LED dimming can be achieved with a triac dimmer, but these triac dimmers chop the power line, which may be tolerable in a home situation where the lighting isn't a very large portion of the electrical load. But in a school, hospital, or office building, a commercial building, where the lighting can be a substantial or maybe even most of the load, you really can't do this. And that's why it's important to have a solution that preserves the power factor and integrity of the power line. Oh, sorry, Mike.
No, please. That's great, and it gives you a lot more information on it, which that's what we need. And again, so to that, the installation cost is really the significant breakthrough as well. I mean, with designing this type of solution and being able to implement this type of process to implement it into a space, just a simplified process is really going to be the attractiveness of this solution. And really the most sustainable and affordable lighting control system versus any other alternatives. You're utilizing the existing fixture, the existing fixture through the retrofit process. Some additional platform advantages. Like I mentioned earlier, you have a significant range, 10-stage of dimming and color tuning capabilities through the EnFocus DM and the EnFocus DCT. That is a significant range, and I think with the studies, we'll get into that a little bit, but that are coming out, you'll see that how important these type of ranges and the color tuning, even dimming, present to an application. As John mentioned, this patent-pending phase cut communication technology over AC power line, that is the significant breakthrough. That's something that, obviously we're very, very happy and proud of having a patent pending regarding this technology, and we will continue to grow that. I mean, we continue to support that. The installation, as I mentioned, that's one of that really is what this comes down to. Not only the performance of this product, but it's really the way it's installed. There's really nothing comparable to really provide such an upgraded aspect to a space that you would be maybe potentially retrofitting or even changing fixtures. So, utilizing the existing. Oh, sorry, John, go on.
Yeah, I was going to say that the secret of EnFocus is really this idea of briefly interrupting the power line to communicate with the lamps. That's how we can preserve the high power factor and low harmonic distortion. Unlike, as we talked about, triac dimmers, for example. And because the signal can be digital, we can go beyond dimming to include, for example, color or other functions that we haven't even thought of yet. So just wanted to add that, Mike.
Again, I appreciate it, John. That's great information. So yeah, this is again something so different to the market. It's really honestly something that the retrofit market specifically has been missing. There's no surprise that the market has gone the way it's gone. With this technology, I think we're going to be able to change that. So again, the additional advantages. It utilizes the existing wiring in the building. So either a 2-wire or 3-wire application, this will be compatible with that. I think it was 2012 when I believe the electrical code changed, where you had to put 3-wire for any new construction as of 2012. So, but either way, you will be compatible with 2 or 3-wire with this switch solution. Again, as I mentioned, the wireless control aspect, this is utilizing the existing wire, so the network's safe. There are concerns with that in different protocols, so this is a completely network safe application and platform that we're utilizing. Provides the most affordable and accessible dimming and circadian-ready capabilities. So that is a huge, huge breakthrough to be able to add that type of value, excuse me, to a space with these type of functions and functionalities to change the color in a space. That's such a simple process. And so for years we were the leader in innovating and driving the flicker-free concept across the entire LED market, which I think we've made a lot of noise with that, and it's been proven to have significant effects. And with this application, we are able to control a very low flicker across the entire dimming range, which is another significant breakthrough for us. This next slide I thought was very, very interesting. I mean, customers are looking at things that are really going to support them long term. So when they're looking at implementing a new system and what they want to use in comparison to other type of maybe dimming or controllable solutions or systems that are out there today that they could use, they want to focus on or kind of check the box off, right, to show what type of things are really supporting me across the board. So, we've simplified the retrofit. It's significantly lower cost when you compare it to other types of solutions. Network safe, tunable, color tunable, and dimmable. Energy savings, that's a no-brainer. And then you have the high power factor, controlling those type of things that we spoke about. Universal voltages compatible, that's a huge aspect, and obviously being compatible with what's in the building, the 2 or 3 wire. So I think this was an interesting slide when you compare it to a phase cut system or 0 to 10 luminaire system or even a wireless system. So I think we absolutely do meet all of those expectations that your customer may have. And again, one of the things that we've always focused on is tube technology. Anyone that knows, as you know, EnFocus, we've been a tube-based LED lighting manufacturer from the early days of the military, and we've had great success in doing that. And with this platform, it just reiterates the sustainability that LED tubes offer, with maximizing energy, reducing a company's organization's carbon footprint. Material waste once it is time to change those products out, and the efficiency. So, there's no surprise. I mean, over the past few years, it's been a challenge in the market because of the integrated fixtures have really far surpassed the capability of LED tubes. But with this system, we've caught up to that. We allow that for organizations and customers to look at how sustainable a LED tube-based solution, what that provides, but now implementing the controllability. So I think we're going to look at really long term, hey, this was the solution. It's been that way for 50, 60, 70 years. Let's re-implement, taking a look at that for my commercial application. The next few slides, we're going to get into this little, kind of health and wellness aspects and some of the benefits that lighting provides, especially tunable and dimmable lighting. Really, nothing new to EnFocus. We've always looked at how we can support, the quality of light by utilizing the lighting function. We spend a significant amount of time indoors, and if we can utilize our lighting the appropriate way, that's going to make a significant impact in our day-to-day lives. So human-centric lighting, and it's driving the adoption beyond energy efficiency. I think John mentioned that earlier on in this call. But the design of these types of applications are so much more important than they've ever been. Light levels, spatial patterns, temporal patterns, light spectrum. The design aspect is extremely important, and we've done a lot of research on, and we've cited very interesting studies actually on this slide that you can look at. There's a link there that speaks to the position statement versus non-visual effects of lighting and what effects that have on people every single day. So this platform will allow us to will absolutely allow us to support those applications, and as we understand more about the circadian aspect of this process. Circadian rhythm and health. We're learning more and more about this. The industry's following this, and we're seeing a lot more of the circadian aspect and how it affects our day-to-day. We all go by or have our circadian clock or biological clock, and any time that can be disruptive, and we all have a little bit of a different type of I guess sensitivity to this, but if we can control that, even manually, that the EnFocus platform allows you to do and support these type of maybe disruptions, it will make a significant impact on someone's lives. And again, there's a great study and great link on this slide that I really encourage everyone to look at and read. And as I mentioned a couple slides ago, the temporal patterns, the light levels, the light spectrums, these are in the designs of projects are becoming more and more important than ever before. We're starting to see that the bluer lights in the mornings, redder lights in the afternoons, that they're having significant effects on people, which to benefiting them. And what this platform does, we're actually giving that control back to the customer on a manual basis, so they can and really calling it circadian ready system, that they can actually control and set their preference and even follow throughout the day if they'd like the circadian rhythm aspect per that individual.
Yeah. So Mike, that picture, Mike, really shows the range, color range from 2700 to 6500. I think that's pretty much what you're seeing right there.
It absolutely is, yeah, and that's a significant, anyone, that, if you put two different color lights next to each other, it is a significant difference. So as you can see, with having 2700 to 65 with 10 levels in between, you will have a one end to the spectrum to the other, which will be a huge, huge benefit to that space. Okay, so promoting alertness in the workplace, again, these studies that are coming out, and we're doing a ton of research on it, and we want to provide as much information to you as possible. The research is finding that, the blue light in the morning, red light in the afternoon is promoting the alertness in the office space. And if we can continue to drive that, that's only going to increase productivities and even safety. And if you're more alert in the workplace, the more safety aspects you can combine to that. So again, these are studies that are extremely interesting, and more. There'll be more to come, obviously, with that. And again, that's why this platform is so important, because it will allow them to look at what this or how to control that, and maybe increase the productivity in that area. And again, the circadian lighting boosts productivity. There's absolute studies shown that the productivity, is being increased just by changing the color of the light in maybe that room or dimming the room. And being able to control that light level or color in that space, again, is only going to significantly affect and support that type of environment. There's several sensitive areas in different types of applications, and this gives you that wide range to be able to support those type of environments. And again, another, one last study here that I thought was very, very important to go over. If you look at different studies that are being done today and the light levels that are being implemented, I mean, the design of lighting projects, and everyone looks at the appropriate types of light levels that are supposed to be in certain spaces. Studies are being shown that the higher intensity and higher color temperatures are significantly increasing productivity in the workplace, and even study, and people are studying. So it's a very, very interesting topic to be discussing. And again, I can't stress enough to have to kind of look at some of these links that we're providing and read these studies. Are very, very interesting. So to kind of put the last few slides into kind of perspective, and where we're kind of going with this is we're always looking at how can this be beneficial to the customer. How can they take those productivity gains and consider it into their project. And it's very obvious that productivity gains will far outweigh any type of energy efficiency that we've calculated thus far. If you look at the 3-30-300 rule, $3 being the average utility per square foot per year, 30 being the rent per year, and then 300 being the payroll or people per year. So if you look at $3 and you consider that, lighting is really at a high level maybe 20% of their overall energy consumption. And you can only reduce that by 50%. So that number, I mean, although it looks unbelievable and the ROIs have gotten to the point where they're extremely attractive, I think when you look at the productivity gains that we can recognize by this platform, it will far outweigh any of the energy efficiency gains that we've recognized as well. So I thought this was a good slide to share with everyone, because it will make a big impact as we go forward and consider these larger projects and how we can increase that. That was it for the presentation. I want to turn it back over to Ashley.
Great, Mike and John, thank you both so much for that background and presentation. I have heard that presentation before, and I learn something new every time I hear it. So thank you. For time's sake, I'd like to now turn it over to the audience for questions. For those of you that we are receiving questions already, but for those of you that have not, please use the chat function to ask your questions, and we will try to get to all of them before we conclude. Please note that if we don't get to your specific question, all of the questions will be noted and in an FAQ document that will be available on our website after the webinar and will also be emailed to you individually. So we already, as I mentioned, have a growing list of questions that have come in during the webinar, so let's jump right into these. First, and John and Mike, you can, either one of you can take this, but I'll probably aim it towards John. What is the primary advantage of EnFocus versus integrated fixtures?
Oh, well, thanks. This is my favorite question. It's retrofittability. The EnergyFocus system works in existing buildings. All you have to do is replace the switch and the lamps. It's that simple. No commissioning, no extra wiring. And that's why we've taken this approach, so that can happen.
So simplicity is a big word there for the advantage. Thank you. What are some of the future functionalities you plan to offer on the platform? You mentioned DM and DCT. What are some of the other functionalities in the future? John or Mike?
Well, Mike was saying that EnergyFocus is a room-based control system right now, and that's exactly true. But future offerings, we're expecting to offer control at the building and even the IoT level. So we'll be moving out of that as time goes on, including more functionality.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's keep going. Why would I use a proprietary system instead of using a more common 0 to 10 volt system?
Can I answer that one too?
Sure. Feel free.
This is my favorite question because 0 to 10 volt systems require extra wires. So you can use a non-proprietary system if you're willing to, for example, have extra wires. But unless they're already installed in a building, they're very difficult to add, which is why many 0 to 10 volt fixtures that have been installed are never dimmed. The wires to dim them just aren't there. EnFocus doesn't require any additional control wires. It works with the existing wiring. It took a new protocol, let's say, to make that happen. So maybe we'll become the new standard. Who knows?
Good. I hope so. So, Mike, in your presentation, you talked a lot about affordability. So this next question is related to that. How affordable is EnFocus relative to other lighting controls?
Yeah, I mean, that's part of this entire process that we've been going, this road we've been going down for some time, and finally have gotten to a point where we've been able to develop this. Anytime we're going to be introducing a product, even RedCap, the affordability of RedCap, considering what the overall package, when you install the product. So this platform EnFocus, being able to simplified retrofit and adding basically a controllable function into a space at such standard, process of install. When you compare that to any other solution in the industry, you will find that this will significantly be, if not a quarter of the cost of other solutions. So to John's point, it's room-based solution today, but we will be growing this platform, which is exciting. The ultimate idea is to continue this platform, and that's what we'll do. But again, the affordability of this is the fact that it really comes down to the installation. You're not running different wire. It's just a simplified overall solution, and I think we've succeeded in doing that.
Yeah. Let me go back to the U.S. Navy for a moment. We talked about that earlier. This is a thing that we learned in the U.S. Navy. We found out that the Navy couldn't afford to retrofit its lighting, to put in new LED fixtures. It was just too much hardware to change. But they needed to get the energy savings, they needed to get the reliability, they needed to get the improved color and other performance. So how do you do that? So retrofittability, the ability to take out what was there and just plug in new bulbs, that made all the difference, and in fact made that whole equation work. So this is really an important piece, I think, and we've kind of kept to that thinking that it really, having the ability to have all these great functions, that's wonderful, but you really need to be able to afford to use them, or you can't get the benefit.
And I'll echo that a little bit, John, real quick. I'm sorry, Ashley. But one of the other things that we have to really consider is the fact that, sustainability, right? Go back to the sustainability aspect. It's the same thing for the U.S. Navy. It's simplified. It's foolproof today, but as well as foolproof in the future, where, again, it's simplified maintenance as well. And that's a huge, huge impact that this platform is going to support. Instead of having to rip out a whole fixture of the ceiling when getting above the ceiling and more red tape, you are simply changing a light bulb like we've done for the past 50, 60 years. Or maybe a switch, for that matter.
Great addition, great addition. So Mike, moving forward, do all energy-focused lamps work on the EnFocus platform?
No, this is a system today with the dimmable or dimmable tunable product with a switch. So it will be they will be married up. We will utilize those together. The goal is to incorporate, and then to give you a little sneak peek on the product roadmap, is to incorporate and allow our other products like the red cap, like our downlights, twin tube, et cetera, to be compatible with this system, with this switch. So you walk into a space, it may not just be a 2 or 4 foot tube. You may have other types of solutions, especially emergency. So the process is going to be to incorporate our other solutions and keep growing this platform as part of the the overall solution to support all of our products. Okay.
Thank you. One of the, let me move on quickly. One of the things you talked about, and one of the things EnergyFocus is known for, is our flicker-free products. So you mentioned in the beginning about low flicker. The question is the flicker level low enough to be ignored, or should I expect some noticeable flicker?
If I can,
please, John. Yeah,
let me take that. I think I know where he's coming from. These triac-based control systems that work with LEDs often flicker, especially at low levels. This has to do with the way the triac controls work. They were controls, of course, that were originally designed for incandescent bulbs. Since the EnFocus system doesn't use triacs, right, we do the control really in the lamp. We shouldn't, and we don't see flicker as a result. So that was a great question.
Great.
Yep.
And on a technical side, how many fixtures can I put on one switch? A
lot is the short answer. For example, if you have a school that has a 277 volt installation. In fact, you don't have many options with 277 volts. But if you have a 277 volt installation, which is common, you could put in more than 20 fixtures, with a typical distribution of bulbs. That's a room full.
That absolutely is a room full. That's a significant, and typically you won't see that many. That's part of it. But that is enough fixtures to really. Typically you start seeing multiple switches and what have you. But yeah, absolutely, 20 is quite a bit.
I like the concise answer of a lot. That's great, John. So moving forward, what does it mean to preserve high power factor and low THD?
Okay,
that's it.
That's you. you want to do that one, Mike?
No, that's absolutely good. Yeah, please.
Yeah. Well, as we were talking about earlier, power factor and THD measure the distortion of the power line. So more distortion in the power line means that more current is required to operate a lamp or other load at a given power. More current means more cost for the power company and for their customers, and which they, of course, the power companies need to pass on those costs to the customers. So not distorting the power line, that is maintaining a high power factor and a low THD, is important to actually realize the cost savings that energy-saving LEDs can provide. So this is really important, especially in commercial installations, especially where the power load has a lot of lighting in it. Schools, for example, come to mind. Hospitals are like that too.
Right. Mike, one of the things like the flicker-free that we're known for is our fantastic warranties. So one of the questions is, why is the warranty different between the lamps and the switches? I think it was 10-year for the lamps, 5-year for the switch, which is still a fantastic and above market warranty.
That's really what it comes down to. I mean, you know, we've had proven success on with our tubes and our technology behind our tubes, and even with our creating the switch to support this platform, we are, again, the high level componentry that we're using. We're ensuring the fact that it's going to last, and even the tubes are obviously, you know, the leading industry with 10-year, 24 hours a day. And the switch itself, that's about double what the average industry per a switch will be. So again, this warranty that we're offering continues to lead the industry.
Great, thank you. So I'm going to just take a few more questions. We're running out of time. We don't want to keep people too long, so why don't we ask just a couple more questions. On the technical side, again, can you talk more about the rewiring required to install the EnFocus platform?
Yeah, I mean, I can jump in this, John. Yeah, again, this is the whole concept behind our platform. It's the simplified retrofit process. You simply walk into a room like you would today, identify the fixtures, identify the amount of tubes, you retrofit the tubes. It's single-ended power very simply, and all you have to do is rewire a wall switch, and then you've now implemented a control system in that space. That is something that was unable to be done prior to this technology, and that is what really separates this product from anything else in the market.
So there's a second part to that question. I'm sorry. Do I need a ground wire to install EnFocus?
This is John. You definitely need a ground wire because you need a ground wire to be compliant with code and for safety. So absolutely, we don't want anyone installing these in a situation that is a non-code situation.
Okay. All right. So like I said, we're running out of time for one last question from the audience. Is EnergyFocus working on a programmable switch that could automatically tune the lamps to follow the circadian rhythm? Either one of you.
Yeah, I can
the answer. Okay.
Yeah. Go on, John, please.
Yeah. The answer is yes, of course. We're working on all sorts of advanced programmable functions, and that'll come as we expand from our current room-based system and start including the local network and ultimately the internet, the cloud. So right now we have a room-based system. Right now that's not automatically changing, but in the future you're going to see that. Sure. Yeah,
just to jump in a little bit on that as well, this will never go away. This is a platform that will be requested to be utilized even when we roll out that advanced type of solution where it's, you know, automatically controlled, because the function of this solution is being requested more and more in the market, to where they, you know, customers want to be able to manually adjust their lights, where they can walk in a room, they can simply look at the switch and say, I know how to control that, and I can set it to my preference. If an organization, someone uses that room every day, they don't want to have, you know, maybe something automatically controlling it. They want to have that ability. So again, this will be part of the product offering as we advance the EnFocus platform. So it's exciting.
It is. It's very exciting. So We are unfortunately out of time today. As I mentioned in the beginning, all of the questions that have come in through the chat window, chat function, will be answered. You will receive an FAQ document with all of the questions that have been asked and all of the full answers. In addition to everyone that has registered, we will give you a recording of the webinar and a copy of this presentation. So if you have questions, feedback, interest, anything at all, I invite you to email us at the email that's on the screen, EnFocus@energyfocus.com. Again, it's EnFocus@energyfocus.com. So that's all for today. And again, thank you so much for joining us. We hope the time spent with us was valuable. So thank you and have a great day.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This does conclude today's teleconference. We thank you for your participation. You may disconnect your lines at this time and have a great day.